So reply from Intel. Intel targets to release a production microcode update to OEM ODM customers by mid-August or sooner, and will share additional details on the microcode patch at that time. Intel is investigating options to easily identify affected processors on end-user systems. In the interim, as a general best practice, Intel recommends that users adhere to Intel default settings on their desktop processors, along with ensuring their BIOS is up to date. Wait a second. Did they ever say they will proactively warn buyers? Seems like they said a lot of words without actually saying, yes, we will do that. Anyway. Maybe they'll say more once they have a microcode update available somehow. Anyway, does Intel anticipate the fix that they're waiting on will be effective for chips that have already been in service but are not yet experiencing symptoms, i.e. invisible degradation? Are those CPUs just living on borrowed? Intel's response is, Intel is confident that the microcode patch will be an effective preventative solution for processors already in service, though validation continues to ensure that scenarios of instability reported to Intel regarding its Core 14th Gen desktop processors are addressed. Intel is investigating options to easily identify affected or at-risk processors on end-user systems. It is possible the patch will provide some instability improvements to currently impacted processors. However, customers experiencing instability on 13th or 14th generation processor-based systems should contact Intel customer support for further assistance. In other words, what they're saying here is that if your CPU already has problems, this isn't going to fix it.
Wasn't gonna
This
let
is just
that
going to
slide.
prevent problems from further developing once this microcode is out, if it hopefully works, which they're apparently still validating. Anyway, what will Intel do for 13th gen buyers after supply of 13th gen parts runs out? So again, assuming you do an RMA to get a replacement, what happens when they run out of replacement parts because final shipments were set to end last month? Intel is committed to making sure all customers who have or are currently experiencing instability symptoms on their 13th and or 14th gen desktop processors are supported in the exchange process. This includes working with Intel's retail and channel customers to ensure end users are taken care of. Regarding instability symptoms with their 13th or 14th gen desktop processors. Notice, did they ever say that they actually answer this question? What will they do? Customers will be taken care of. They will be supported in the exchange process. Again, we're not getting a real clear statement of what exactly they're going to do. Anyway, so it does look like Intel will be applying the microcode to 13th, 14th gen desktop processors that are not yet shipped once the production patch is released. So basically, eventually, once this microcode patch is updated, the new chips being sent out will have it applied automatically, but stuff that's currently being produced right now before that microcode update is shipped and heading out into supply chains and everything, will have to BIOS update. Anyway, what, if anything, can customers do to slow or stop degradation ahead of the microcode update? You know, if you have one of these CPUs right now, is there anything you can do to stop from slowly killing it as you're using it right now? Intel recommends that users adhere to Intel default settings on their desktop processors, along with ensuring their BIOS is up to date. Once the microcode patch is released, Intel partners will advise you to check for relevant BIOS. Basically, try to get on one of the latest BIOSes that have the Intel default settings and use that, and that will probably help slow things down until the actual fix, which hopefully works, is sent out later and you will update your BIOS.
You're a disgrace to your view.
Will Intel share specific manufacturing dates and serial number ranges for the oxidized processors so mission-critical businesses can selectively rip and replace? Basically, Intel's response doesn't confirm the data. Intel will keep working with its customers on via oxidation-related reports to ensure that they are fully supported in the exchange process. Again, via oxidation being a different issue that Intel had a while back. But again, they're not really answering the question on will they share specific manufacturing dates and serial number ranges. Didn't seem to really answer that question. Why does Intel believe the instability issues do not affect mobile chips? And they're saying they're basically continuing to investigate. So, anyway, there's a whole lot of stuff Intel is saying here that just doesn't seem good enough. But that's just my take on it. You guys could let me know your take in the comments section. Oh, and also, notice again that they're not really telling you how to tell if your CPU already has. One thing they refer to in the Verge article is to go use the, to test if you have problems, use the steps in this, is it Robitech or Robitech? I don't know, but YouTube channel. And as what I can tell in this video, his suggested method is to install NVIDIA graphics drivers a number of times over and see if it triggers issues. He says, like 5 times should be enough. Now, he also stresses to make sure you are on the profile BIOS before doing this, or else you might just start causing degradation to your chip that you wouldn't want to do. So anyway, by the way, oh, and this was Intel's recommended method of testing given in their response to The Verge. But wait, this involves installing NVIDIA drivers. You know, some people don't have an NVIDIA GPU. For example, you might have an Intel graphics card or an AMD one. Anyway, so what do you do then? I don't know. Another interesting take from Intel. So, now, how widespread are these issues? We still don't actually know. However, we do know that Intel 13 allegedly have a 4 times higher return rate than their previous 12th gen processors, according to a large retailer. And they also claim that Intel CPU RMAs are higher than AMD. But we don't have, again, specific numbers on how widespread this is. And, but the important thing we know now is how good is the Cybertruck PC. It has been tested. It's the fastest rising GPU on wheels, so that's good. And you press the hood to start. It looks like the start mechanism is like in the, I think it's in the shocks here or something. Push the hood down and like start up the engines here. And apparently you can definitely hear the fan noise. Reduce the power settings. Anyway. That's the important thing today. Another quick note is that NVIDIA's open source Linux drivers have performance proprietary, which is cool. Alright guys, hopefully you guys found some information here that was useful and more interesting. I'm going to get back to unpacking some of these boxes behind me. Trust me, there are a lot more where those ones came from. I do have my squat rack set up though, so that took a while, but we got that going. Overall, I'm enjoying my basement setup here, but I think I'm still gonna have to put up some like rugs. You can see the tile floor behind me. I think that it's a bit more reverb on the audio here than I liked in my last video, but I don't think it's too bad or anything. Got so much stuff still to do at my old house to get it emptied and ready to sell, and just anyway, so. I probably have been a bit slower on producing videos for the channel because of the moving process. That will probably continue to be the case throughout the next week, but we'll see. It's starting to get a little more settled in. Huge thank you to viewers, subscribers, channel members who clicked the join button to directly support the channel financially, which helps me do things like, one reason I'm doing this move is to try to run this channel at the same time as I teach full-time. One thing about this house, it is like right next to this chat. I'm gonna be able to like walk out the back door into my classroom pretty much, which is one of the reasons why I'm making this move, to be able to be efficient. Like if I have 0 commute time, that's...
Et on s'en fout de la communication téléphonique là.